Decidueye was just announced as the next 7-star raid. The grass ghost type Pokemon will be using the flying Tera type. And today we're going to try to predict what the raid's going to be like, what moves it's got, what's going to be the best Pokemon to counter it. It's probably going to have its hidden ability, which is a long reach. This ability allows it to use contact moves without actually making contact. So if you have a Pokemon with Poison Point, Decidueye hitting you will not cause it to be poisoned. And it works with like static and all the other abilities like that. The way these 7-star Tera Raids work, the Pokemon will have 4 moves, which will be the 4 moves it has once you catch it, and it'll have a few, usually 1 to 4 additional moves. I think a good option for Decidueye would be Leaf Blade. It's a very hard-hitting physical grass type attack. For a ghost attack, Spirit Shackle is Decidueye's signature move, so it would make sense for it to have that, but also it could use Phantom Force, which is stronger. And for a flying type attack, Brave Bird is probably what I'd go for. I mean, obviously it won't be taking a lot of recoil because it has 30 times the health it usually does, and I believe Brave Bird's like 120 base power, so I don't know why you wouldn't want to use it. And lastly, any attack that doesn't have stab is usually for coverage, and Decidueye doesn't really have great coverage, so I've gone with low sweep here. It could also be U-turn, but other than that, there's a really not much else. As for its additional moves, it could be Tailwind to make it go faster. This would greatly benefit it, as Decidueye only has base 70 speed. Sword Stance is another option. This would be very similar to the Iron Leaves Tera Raid, but it's still a possibility. And lastly, Sunny Day, which wouldn't do too much for it, but if it has the move Solar Beam instead of Leaf Blade, it'll allow it to use Solar Beam, a very powerful move instantly. Obviously, this is a 7-star raid. The Decidueye's level 100. It has perfect IVs, all the usual stuff. I don't think this will be, crazily different like the Pikachu raid was. I think this will be a normal 7-star raid. I'd like to emphasize that this is purely theoretical, completely just based on the other 7-star raids we've had before. So I can't guarantee it's 100% accurate, but if you want to see coverage of the raid when it actually comes out, I will be covering it on this channel. I'd urge you to subscribe. I've got some really cool videos coming out, and I'd love to show you. And I've seen a few builds that have been thrown around to, try to preemptively counter Decidueye. First up is Iron Hands. It's a classic. I believe it doesn't take super effective damage from any of its attacks. It can learn Thunder Punch for more damage. It can Terastallize into the electric type, into a Terra Blast. If you want to play a bit safer, Miraidon is a great option. Electro Drift has stab and it does more damage if it's super effective, paired with the electric Terra type. Electric Terrain will boost that damage even further. Metal Sound will lower Decidueye's special defense, and Taunt can prevent it from using Tailwind or Sword Stance or Sunny Day. Along with the Shell Bell item, you'll be able to regain any health you lose, and paired with its 135 speed, it'll definitely be outspeeding Decidueye. Miraidon also has a better special defense than Iron Hands. Slightly worse defense, but there's not anything writing home about. So I think Miraidon is the safest option. And if you're playing Pokemon Scarlet, you don't have access to Miraidon, you can trade your Koraidon for Miraidon. You need access to Nintendo Search Online, but if you go into a link trade with the link code 03990400, you'll be able to trade your Koraidon for a Miraidon. It works the exact same way as well. If you want a Koraidon and you have a Miraidon, you can use the same link code, trade your Miraidon away, and you get Koraidon. I don't think this is going to be a very difficult Tera Raid. It seems pretty easy to me. It doesn't have great coverage. It doesn't have insane attack stats. I think it'll be very manageable. I think it'll be a very good opportunity to farm some XP candies.